New details on the rumoured talks between WWE and Warner Bros. Discovery over the television rights for Monday Night Raw. Should AEW be worried about possibly being kicked off of TNT and TBS? Are All Elite Wrestling at danger of that possibly happening? We've got plenty of details on that. Plus, Roman Reigns could be set to miss a big international premium live event next year. We'll let you know which one. Eddie Edwards signs a new long-term contract with TNA Wrestling, and could a major return take place at the World's End pay-per-view? Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. And let's start off talking about the biggest story of the day, and that is that talks between WWE and Warner Bros. Discovery are back on when it comes to the television media rights for Monday Night Raw and what that could possibly mean for All Elite Wrestling. Now, let's get straight into it. We did cover part of this earlier on today, but there have been developments since then. Now, Triple H was reportedly among a team of WWE executives who met with a Warner Bros. Discovery executives and higher-ups this week to speak about a potential TV rights deal. Now, during a recent report indicating that a deal for TV rights for Monday Night Raw will be finalized pretty soon, it was noted that a WWE deal with Warner Bros. Discovery isn't completely out of the question, with CM Punk's return to WWE believed to have, quote, opened up what may have been a closed door. That was according to Dave Meltzer on today's edition of Wrestling Observer Radio. Well, Mike Johnson of PW Insider has provided further details of the recent meeting between WWE and WBD, noting that WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H and WWE President Nick Khan met with WBD Chief Revenue and Strategy Officer Bruce Campbell for several hours on Monday, that being December 11, in the morning. Mike Johnson wrote, quote, this past Monday morning, TKO's Mark Shapiro, as well as WWE's Nick Khan and Paul Levesque, were in New York City at the Warner Bros. Discovery headquarters, meeting with WBD executive Bruce Campbell about potentially moving Raw to the WBD family. Campbell holds the position of Chief Revenue and Strategy Officer. We are told that the WWE contingent met with Campbell for several hours Monday AM, with at least part of the meeting taking place in a conference room usually reserved for WBD CEO David Zaslav. Now, Warner Bros. Discovery owns TBS and TNT, the home of AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel has previously discussed the media rights talks, stating that they were having good conversations with a number of potential partners. Now, among the partners that have been in the conversation have been Amazon Prime and Disney-owned FX. In September 2023, it was announced that WWE SmackDown would be heading back to the USA Network in October of next year, with the company producing 4 primetime specials for NBC as well. Now, we've also got more details on those talks, and actually, if people believe them, if there's a lot of hush-hush going on, this is where it gets really, really interesting. So, Nick Houseman of House of Wrestling actually spoke yesterday about what he had been hearing regarding WWE talking to Warner Bros. Discovery. Of course, if you remember, just a few weeks ago, it was reported by Dave Meltzer that WWE President Nick Khan earlier this year had made a pitch to WBD executives about securing Monday Night Raw television right deals, and they were turned down because they were happy with AEW. Well, that appears to have changed, or the stance of it certainly appears to have changed over the last couple of weeks, and it does appear to coincide with the return of CM Punk to WWE after he left AEW. Now, Nick Houseman said that he had heard on Monday that this meeting between Paul Levesque, Nick Khan, and TKO COO Mark Shapiro took place in New York about Warner securing the TV rights for Raw. The meeting was said to go well, and Warner relayed their admiration for CM Punk, who had just re-signed with WWE 2 weeks ago after being terminated from AEW. Now, Nick Houseman then spoke with a higher-up WWE source yesterday morning and was told that the information was, quote, very inaccurate. One of the details pointed to as inaccurate was the internal schedules of Levesque, Khan, and Shapiro, which apparently did not put them together in New York on Monday. Now, doubt was also cast that Punk really had the kind of influence to cause someone like WBD CEO David Zaslav to abandon support of AEW and just jump into bed with WWE. Now, this morning, much of what was reported yesterday by Nick Houseman, basically saying that, well, I had heard the same thing, but a lot of people said that's not true because of the schedules and because of Punk's actual influence, etc., etc. That was reported elsewhere as fact by Dave Meltzer, who said, no, this has happened. And in addition to that, Mike Johnson said, no, the meeting took place. Now, by all accounts, according to Nick Houseman, this elicited an unprompted text from the same WWE source saying, quote, this is all very strange. Now, during a follow-up phone call that Houseman had with said source, it was relayed to him that WWE executives may be, quote, kayfabing those in the company by altering their internal schedules. But that was just speculation. They were speculating that perhaps to throw the scent off and to make people think that this meeting didn't take place, they had rearranged their Outlook calendars or something like that. If indeed these talks are happening, they are protected at the highest level, according to Houseman. Now, as I mentioned earlier today, Dave Meltzer reported on Wrestling Observer Radio that CM Punk will be in LA this week for a house show and will likely be meeting with WBD executives while in town. Now, it's worth noting that WWE's holiday live event tour shows in LA do not occur until Saturday, December 30, and Nick Houseman has been told by those close to Punk that he is in town to do the house show, but they did not respond when pressed about potential meetings. So, again, maybe the timeline's off on that one, and it might be Meltzer getting mixed up on dates, but certainly it feels like something maybe is going on. Now, maybe this is the biggest thing that Nick Houseman reports when it comes to AEW, because lots of people have been wondering, well, if indeed the meeting took place, would that maybe suggest that AEW is in danger of actually leaving WBD and not securing a new media rights contract with Warner Bros. Discovery? Of course, negotiations are reportedly taking place and they're set to expire next year. This is the key thing. Lastly, the vibe that Nick Houseman was given is that AEW is in danger of not being renewed by WBD for TNT or TBS. That's key because, of course, all of the AEW programming airs on either TBS, whether it's AEW Dynamite, or TNT for AEW Rampage or AEW Collision. One scenario that was given to Nick Houseman was that WWE would move to TNT or TBS and AEW would be moved to Discovery. Now, how that would work, because WWE usually has exclusivity with a television partner, meaning that no pro wrestling can air on any of their stations. Two higher-up sources in AEW that Houseman spoke with said that was news to them, though, and not something that they had heard. Another said, quote, only person who really knows is Zasloff. Now, of course, last month it was reported by Nick Houseman that Tony Khan had passed on talks with the CW about bringing Ring of Honor to their network. His reasoning for passing on the talks was that he wanted to take Ring of Honor and AEW to market together in early 2024 when AEW's TV rights became available. That means that Khan has yet to secure a new deal with Warner and is open to taking his content elsewhere. So, certainly, it would suggest that Khan isn't completely stuck when it comes to Warner Bros. Discovery, but whether or not this meeting actually took place between WWE and WBD is being protected at the highest level, but the rumor is, according to Nick Houseman, that AEW is possibly in danger of being kicked off TBS and TNT. Now, the suggestion is they could be moved to Discovery, but again, how feasible that would be, we really don't know. Now, Sean Ross Sapp has posted a couple of interesting tweets today. The first, he said, quote, I've got zero confirmation on anything WWE and WBD related. Only speculation and chatter as of now. People from both sides that are normally in the loop are either out of the loop or don't think it's happening. People close to those of influence have heard chatter the other direction. Tony Khan said AEW met with WBD executives on Tuesday. That's what I got. Now, he did actually follow up on that just a little bit afterwards, saying, I've heard directly that Triple H was at Raw Monday, but that there were WBD and WWE conversations in recent weeks. It does not appear AEW was kept in the dark about that, maybe suggesting that AEW is aware that WBD has spoken recently to WWE. Again, what that would mean moving forward, we don't know, but certainly things appear to be hotter when it comes to WWE and WBD than they were a couple of weeks ago. But this could be an interesting part in all of this is, can Warner Bros. Discovery actually even afford the media rights for Monday Night Raw? Because it has been reported by people on Wall Street that Warner Bros. Discovery currently has an over 60% probability of bankruptcy. Of course, it's been a wide story. Since the merger between Warner Bros. And Discovery, they've been losing money. Some films, Batgirl, have been scrapped. Other films have been colossal failures, i.e. The Flash. And it could mean that WBD is losing a lot of money right now. Can they even afford to make a big investment such as acquire Monday Night Raw. Could this whole be a situation to actually drive down the price for AEW, in which AEW could be willing to accept a lower fee for their media rights and therefore stay on TNT and TBS? What do you think about all of this? What do you think about the latest developments when it comes to this story, and where do you think this is going to go in the future? Do you think that Monday Night Raw is going to head to TNT or TBS? Do you think AEW is in danger of being kicked off those networks, and if so, where would they go? Is that a massive dent in the future of All Elite Wrestling as well? Let me know your thoughts on all of it in the comments section below. Now, Roman Reigns could be set to miss a big premium live event next year, and that is Backlash in France. The current WWE Undisputed Universal Champion has transitioned into a part-time star, so usually only steps into the ring for major events. Despite this, Reigns has been left off the poster for an upcoming international premium live event set to take place in 2024. WWE has now shared the initial poster for WWE Backlash 2024, which will air from the LDLC Arena in Greater Lyon, France in May. 7 notable names are featured on the poster, which you can see right there. Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, Rhea Ripley, Cody Rhodes, Bianca Belair, and Randy Orton are all prominently featured on the graphic. Dominic Mysterio is also shown on the poster, receiving an RKO from Randy Orton. Now, Roman Reigns is notably absent from this lineup, which would suggest that he won't be competing at the event in France. Reigns was also not featured on the graphic for the May 3rd go-home edition of SmackDown ahead of Backlash either. Of course, the card, though, is always subject to change, and anything could happen between now and May 4, but with Reigns currently acting as one of the faces of the company, WWE usually advertises Reigns for events he's attending in advance because he sells tickets. Reigns last competed at the Crown Jewel Premium Live event in November, defeating LA Knight to retain WWE Undisputed Universal title in the process. Of course, he is set to make his return to WWE television tomorrow night, live on SmackDown, possibly setting up his Royal Rumble appearance and a Royal Rumble title opponent too. Let's switch gears here and talk about some TNA wrestling and talk about Eddie Edwards, who is sticking around with the place he calls home. An Impact Wrestling mainstay is sticking around for the company's return to TNA. It was announced today that Eddie Edwards has re-signed with TNA Wrestling. Edwards has been with the promotion for nearly a decade, making his debut in 2014. Edwards is a 2-time Impact World Champion, a 5-time Impact World Tag Team Champion, and a 2-time X Division Champion as well. Quote, "I don't think it's much of a surprise," Edwards told PW Insider about the new deal. "I don't think my fans and friends are very much surprised that I'm sticking around because everybody knows how I feel about this company. I think especially right now with the momentum that we have with TNA coming back and all that excitement, for me, it was a no-brainer, and I'm very happy to be here and continue being here as long as I'm able to." Edwards spent much of his 2023 feuding with Frankie Kazarian. Their feud wrapped up with Kazarian winning a 2 out of 3 falls Killer Impact match that aired this October. At Impact Final Resolution last weekend, Ace Austin and Chris Bay retained their Impact Tag Team titles against Edwards and Brian Myers. Impact Wrestling is changing its name back to TNA Wrestling, starting with its Hard to Kill pay-per-view on Saturday, January 13, 2024. Kushida, Trent Seven, and Leon Slater have been announced as new TNA signees in recent weeks. PCO has also re-signed with the company as well. Finally, we've got a bit of an update when it comes to Jim Ross and his possible return to AEW commentary. Now, Jim Ross previously revealed in early November that he would be taking some time away from AEW due to health issues, as his leg had continued to bother him. He has now opened up further about his health issues on the Grilling JR podcast, revealing, quote, "I got to go see an ophthalmologist because we're finding out my vision is somewhat blurred at times, so we're going to get my eyes checked. I'm good today and I might be good tomorrow, but I'm not good all the time. I want to be good all the time. It's a lot of moving parts, Connie. I really do appreciate all the fans on social media because I read the tweets. I really appreciate the support. It's heartwarming, it's meaningful, but I'm not bullshitting at nobody." Ross explained that he is continuing to take insulin shots and maintaining his diet, having previously discussed his dangerous high blood sugar, saying that the 400 count was diabetic seizure time. He would explain the impact his medication has had on him in a positive way, saying, quote, "The medicines that have been prescribed to me are working. Mentally, I feel like I'm back in the hunt competitively." As for a return to AEW, Ross was more guarded about that, going on to say, quote, "I have no idea what my future is at AEW. I have no clue. To be very frank about it, I'm not worried about yay or nay. My work should stand on its own after 50 years, for God's sake, seriously. So sometimes I worry too much. I think it's just a matter of being an alpha male and wanting to do whatever is on my terms. And I understand that's not always possible. But I do appreciate all the feedback. It's very meaningful to me. I appreciate everybody's support and their love." Co-host Conrad Thompson would ask Ross to predict when he would be ready to return to AEW, with the Hall of Famer replying, quote, "Well, sooner than later. I know that's not a very good answer. A date I have in the corner of my eye and thought about, the pay-per-view, World's End, on December 30 on Long Island. That's a hope that I would be healthy enough and able to work to the level that I need to. No, I don't have a date. It's just hard to plan. I don't want to set myself up for disappointments. If I say I'm going to do something and I say I'm going to do it, then it's going to get done. But I can't commit to that right now because I still got some ongoing health issues that need to be addressed, and they are being addressed, as I mentioned moments ago. It's just a process, man." He would conclude his thoughts by discussing the passing of his wife and needing something to love, saying, quote, "As long as my heart's beating that blood, I want to be involved in some way because I still love the wrestling business. It's cruel sometimes, it's challenging more often than not. For some reason, it's what I love. Now that Jan's gone, I need something to love. I'm not being funny here. I need to make sure I've got something in the works to fill that void." Returning to the possibility of a return at AEW World's End on December 30, Ross concluded by saying, quote, "I'm thinking that's one goal, I guess you could say. I don't know. That would be on my radar, no doubt about that. Largely, that's up to Tony Khan and what he wants me to do and getting approval from the doctor so I can travel, okay, and deal with the swelling and all this other stuff. I've just gotten used to the pain and I've gotten used to the discomfort." He also revealed that his upcoming book, Business is About to Pick Up, is available to pre-order with an anticipated release date of the 26th of March 2024. So hopefully we can see Jim Ross back very soon. But there you go, guys. This is the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.